Well, hello everybody. This is Daniel Jugenis coming to you live from London in the United Kingdom. I trust you're all well. It's been a while since I've done any kind of a video, be it a video diary, an Instagram series, or anything else. I mean, this video doesn't really fall into any of those categories. I've just done what we call in the acting industry or the film television industry a self-tape for a potential casting, i.e. potential job. And having done that, and I'm sitting in front of the camera, I just thought I'd just put a message out there, really. I'm still around, I'm still in the best of health. Some good news. Since the pandemic lockdown, I've actually lost weight. I'm a borderline diabetic, and my diabetic index has gone down to 6.2. It originally was 6.5, which puts me in the type 1, I think it is. Is it type 1 or type 2? I can't even remember what the distinction between type 1 and type 2, but I'm below the one that's safe. In other words, I'm a borderline diabetic. I don't need to take any medication. I just do it via diet and exercise. Can't afford the fees for the gym right now, but I do a lot of walking. I walk around most parts of central London, with anything from East Central to the West End. Although I haven't quite gone into the West End, but I do kind of walk around the neighbourhood, take very long walks. Of course, I'm watching what I eat. I only eat if I really need to, so there's no binging or eating on the hoof or things that are bad for me. So my doctors were quite pleased because people in a similar situation to myself have actually gained weight, which is understandable because people were virtual prisoners in their own home. I did do something like at home, like push-ups, yoga, stretches, but once the lockdown eased a little and people were advised that they could go out for an hour or so exercise, I just went walking, and that's all I'm doing. So my diabetic index has gone down from 6.5 to 6.2. My weight has gone down from 90 kilograms to 85 kilograms. Now, when I was a regular member of a chain of gyms, I won't mention the name of the gym. I mean, it was good, but it was for people who were quite serious about the bodybuilding, or they could afford to go there. I couldn't really afford, but I made the sacrifice to go. But here's the thing I'm trying to tell you is that in the 2.5 years that I was a member of that gym, I was 90 kilos, and it just wouldn't shift. You're pumping iron, using the weights, you're doing cardiovascular, whatever, and the weight just wouldn't shift. Although I have to admit, for about 1.5 years of that gym membership, I was doing a regular 9 to 5 job. So that may have impacted on my state of being, because if you're doing a job where you're kind of harassed, or, well, I wasn't really harassed, but 9 to 5 work culture doesn't really work for me. I'm quite happy getting up at 4 in the morning and going all the way out to Pinewood Studios or Shepton Studios or Leavesden Studios for 6 or 7 a.m. start and do a 12-hour day on the film set. Never feel stressed or pressurized. I'm not sure why. It's just something that really works for me. But being in an office 8 hours a day doesn't really work for me. Culture doesn't work for me. But most of my business experience has been in office and administration. So when there's no acting work around, well, what do? You go to an employment agency and you sign up and you give them your commercial CV or resume, if you will, and they take it from there. So it's nearly always work in an office. That hasn't happened for, when was the last time I was in office? The 31st of December 2018. I haven't stepped into an office since then, so we're not far off 18 months, or at least December this year will make it 18 months. So I haven't really had that stress, but obviously making a living brings its own stresses and pressures. But the odd thing is that having not been to a gym for about a year now, I seem to be in better shape than when I was going to the gym. You know, okay, I like to do my deadlifts and bench presses and various things with weights and cardiovascular, but the only exercise I'm doing now is pretty much walking. I mean, I do still do some press ups and some yoga stretches, but not much. It's been pretty much walking. And while I have so much free time, like a lot of people, due to the lockdown, I've actually been looking at my health a lot more, focusing. I've had a few blood tests, well, not numerous blood tests, but a few blood tests done, and everything seems fine. So right now, I'm still based in London, and I'm still in good shape for a man of my years. I won't tell you what my age is. You can find that up if you look on IMDb or wherever else. I am there. But yeah, I just wanted to put this message out to say that, Daniel Jugenis is still out there. I haven't done anything for a while because I'm doing some studies for a master's in project management. Why am I doing that? Well, project management is something that has always interested me, and I have seen examples of projects that weren't managed very well, and I just thought I could do better. I just thought it's something that I could do and do extremely well. Hence, I've got a student loan. I know I'm doing that to the best of my abilities so far. I'm just on the foundation level at the moment, but it's coming along. It's come along, but it does require a great deal of work. Not afraid of that, and diligence, which I'm working on. But yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to kind of put that message out there. I will be returning to my video diaries, but I just wanted to kind of put reorganize it a lot more, like put in titles and credits, front and back of the presentation. So that's one of my little projects. Another project that I'm working on is, well, there's actually two. One is a jewelry range. Well, it just comes down to two jewelry type chains that you can wear as a sash over. You haven't actually got one to actually show you at hand, but that's something I am going to be putting out via Ashanti Dreamweaver, my website, and also my Instagram accounts as well. I will be putting it out on Daniel Jugenis as well, but there's two versions of that chain. It's basically a dragon chain, and we'll be putting that out. The other project, it just comes from a mutual interest I had with someone, and it's I'm a big fan. Okay, let me put it this way. I grew up being a big comic book fan. Marvel, DC, do I hear you say? Well, I read both, but in the UK it was always easier to get Marvel comics, that being the American color comics, and during my childhood, the 70s, Marvel started up in the UK, and they were actually publishing black and white reprints from original stories from the 60s. So it's kind of like you're talking about the Jack Kirby stuff, the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, let's see now, Spider-Man, of course, Iron Man, Thor, the X-Men, all from the 60s. So during the 70s, I was reading black and white reprints of those stories. So, I had a really good background knowledge of what would become the MCU, you know, like 30 years before it ever happened, more than 30 years, in fact, before it ever happened. So being a big comic fan and something of a Marvel man, well, somebody once called me Mr. Marvel because I knew all the knowledge. Being a big Marvel fan, I, of course, was a great fan of the TV shows, the Netflix stuff like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, etc. But I tuned into all of them. But the one I'm really coming up against now is I want to talk about is Agents of Shield, and I managed via Amazon to actually get a Agents of Shield ID badge, but no ID card. So what I did, I actually made my own. It's all web-based, so I made my own, and I got it printed. So that's the other thing that I'm offering any would-be comic book fans out there or fans of TV's Agents of Shield, is that I can actually make a Shield ID card for you. Now, details of that will be on my website in the near future, which is ashantydreamweaver.webs.com. I'll repeat that, ashantydreamweaver.webs.com. I will be putting up information about how you can actually become an agent of Shield. I am. I've got the ID, I've got the card, everything else, ID badge, everything else. So I was showing you that. And one other product which comes under Agent Shield is that if you don't like Agent Shield, you can always become a member of their enemy, Hydra. So you can have a Hydra ID card. Again, in the near future, I'll be putting that out on my website. I will also be putting it on Instagram. There is an Ashanti Dreamweaver account on Instagram, and I will be putting up details there in the near future. But until then, until I get back to doing video diary and other things, I just want to wish you all well, and I will talk to you soon. Well, soon, yeah. I did say I'd come back in the autumn to my friends and followers, and I will, but yeah, soon. So until then, take care of each other, look after yourselves and each other, and I'll talk to you soon. So goodbye for now. Bye.